Arsenal knock Porto out of the Champions League in what was a fantastic game of football. Arsenal took the lead through a wonderful piece of play from Martin Odegaard, delightfully finished off by Trossard. And then Porto, they deserve so much credit, and they will get that from us at the Football Terrace today. They'll get praise for how they defended, how they didn't lose shape, how they didn't abandon their ethos and their game plan for this match. Didn't start opening up and affording Arsenal lots of space. They made it very hard and very, very difficult at times. And you felt the demons of the past. You felt the 14 years of hurt. 14 years Arsenal have not progressed from the round of 16 onto the quarterfinals, and you could feel that in the atmosphere. But this Arsenal team goes from strength to strength. They grow their mentality. They beat some more of their demons today. We're going to break it down in more detail, the game. We're going to be having a panel for you later as well, breaking down your views and your opinions. Also, I want to shout out first though our title sponsors tonight, NordVPN. I want to tell you something about NordVPN, why it's important to use them. I don't know if you do this, but they say that 2/3 of people take a look at their partner's phone. It might just be over their shoulder. 2/3 though. You might not do it. I know I don't, but a lot of you may do. Also, your partner might be looking at your phone. And if you think that might be you, that's why you need NordVPN. Because you might put a password on your phone, stop people from looking at it. But what about the Wi-Fi in your house? Who pays your Wi-Fi? Who has access to your Wi-Fi bill? Your wife? Your brothers? Your siblings, your parents, your boss? If you are not using NordVPN to encrypt your phone, your computers when you're on the internet, whatever you're doing, and you don't need to tell me what you're doing, anybody can see it. It isn't private. I don't know what you get up to. I don't care what you get up to. It's not my business. That anybody can take a peek if they have access to your bill. That's just one of many great things that NordVPN protects you against. So get yourself signed up to it now. I can give you 4 months free. Scan the QR code on the screen at the end of the show or click on the link in our description. Make sure you are getting that done, my people. Now, people are laughing, but it's true. It's genuinely true. I'll tell you guys a funny story about it later on in the show. Trust me. Trust me. A friend of a friend is no longer with his wife because she looked at the bills. And she found out he was subscribing to a certain couple of websites or profiles on websites. But yeah, we'll get onto that story a little bit later in the show. But Arsenal tonight, I want to break this down because there may be people that will look at Arsenal this evening and say, well, great. They weren't at their liquid best. The way they've been cutting through teams of late, this wasn't it. There may be Arsenal fans that I'm annoyed that it had to go to penalties. We went 1-0 up and we couldn't break Porto down. And my response to those individuals is your lack of understanding of football is showing here, or you have an agenda against Arteta or against Arsenal. And I say that because you have to first and foremost give credit to Porto, a team with a brilliant heritage and history in this tournament, a very strong and resilient team who there's an expression in fighting that is styles make fights. And I think the way Porto play football is all wrong for Arsenal. They're a low block team, but with really high quality players, and they are drilled impeccably well. They make it very, very difficult for their opponents. And I think they could do this to a number of teams. Now, somebody else might play them, Liverpool, and beat them 3 or 4-0. But that's why you can't always compare results based on, well, how did we do versus you? Man United beat Aston Villa away from home this year. That doesn't make us better than Arsenal. That is never how football has really been gauged. So I want to praise Porto first and foremost. Pepe at the back at 41 was majestic. I thought Costa in goal was absolutely out of this world. Pepe in the middle, what a player. I know he missed the penalty, but I think it's Wendell. The way he kept one of the best wingers in the world in Bukayo Saka quiet all game deserves credit. And I know when you're watching it as a gooner, you can view it as, I wish we were better. But what you also have to do as a football fan is look at it and say, well, how good were our opponents? And Porto were very good across both legs. And I did think that over both games, it was such a such a great football match. Good attacks, good saves, good defending at times. It's really high quality football match. If there'd have been more mistakes from both teams defensively, there would have probably been more goals. But even when lines were broken, there were opportunities, or Tavia or Pepe, somebody was getting blocks in. It was such a great game for me as a neutral to watch tonight. Both teams deserve a huge round of applause for that. But I'll tell you why Arsenal fans should be happy. I'll tell you why they should be very, very happy tonight. Demons put to bed. It has been, and I repeat, I said it earlier, I'll say it again, 14 years, almost 1.5 decades since Arsenal have progressed from the last 16 to the quarterfinals or the last 8. And you could feel that in the air. You could hear it through the TV screens. I'm sure everybody at the game could feel it. Game started off with all the songs and all the cheering and the sort of booing of the opponents. As that first half rolled on, you heard the nervousness start to creep in. And this is when people talk about, does football heritage really help you? The answer is yes. That's it. Straight up, simple. Football heritage can help you. Because watch the Porto fans, they were different. They were far more relaxed than Arsenal. You watch Real Madrid, if they're up against it, in this year's tournament, last year's tournament, their fans stay relatively relaxed. They're 3 or 4-0 down, they're not. But they stay relatively relaxed because they know how to handle the situation. Arsenal of old would have been able to have done that. But even though these players and this manager and a lot of people to do with this club were not even at the Emirates the last time they were even in the Champions League, those demons live on. Those demons will continue to haunt dressing rooms, the fans and their attitude towards it, memories behind the scenes, backroom staff that have been at the club 20 odd years, just little whispers in the corridor, little murmurs here. Can we get through it? And it was really important. And I said, I didn't quite get my prediction right tonight. I said it would be a close game. I said it'd be a nervy game. I thought Arsenal would win it 2-0. They were fairly close to doing that in this game, but they got through nevertheless. But the one thing I said to LB and to Dan Potts earlier today, and I stand by, and I say now, and I push out now, and that is, I think if they win this game, Arsenal, the growth, the experience, the feel-good factor, and everything that surrounds that is going to pay them huge dividends this season, next season, and the year after. Breaking that hoodoo of going out at this stage from 2010 onwards, winning a really tough, close knockout game where even in the Europa League under Mikel Arteta, those tough Europa League games that could have gone either way didn't go either way. They always went against Arsenal. This is a gateway moment. This is a breakthrough moment in European football for Arsenal. Doesn't mean they're going to win the Champions League this year. There's still a lot of development and a lot of know-how to be injected, instilled, some of it purchased, and placed into this Arsenal team. But getting through this difficult hurdle against a team that I think is all wrong for Arsenal, that they play in that low block, they give you very little space, they're very, very physical and experienced, and you put all that together, and yes, this isn't a 5-0 drumming. This wasn't a liquid gold performance that will live on in the memory of football fans around the world forever. But that isn't what football is always about. And you will have your naysayers, you will have your detractors tonight, who will say that we scraped through, so therefore it's bad. They will say they're angry regardless. They'll rip into Saka because he wasn't very good, but give almost no credit to how impeccably well Porto set up to stop him. This is typical in the Champions League, and it's happened to some of the very best players that this tournament has ever had the honor of having graced their fields. I thought it was an impeccable night for Arsenal. When it comes to individual players, look, I have to start with this one guy, because you've been criticized for a long time. Does he turn up in big games? Martin Odegaard. And as a brilliant league gunner I pointed out about him a few weeks ago, he said that not all big games are against the biggest sides. You have to review the circumstance. And we've seen that in a few Premier League games recently where he has stood up, where he has been counted when Arsenal had to win. And those performances and wins have put you top of the league. And tonight, 1-0 down, haven't for 14 years got out of this round or stage of European football. He stepped up, a captain's performance. And the creativity that led to the goal was a thing of beauty. The first touch, how he shimmied round a player. the dummy of the first pass, the accuracy and the weight of the ball that cut through that Porto defence and set up Trossard, who still had a lot to do. A very, very good finish from Trossard. A brilliant night for him. A brilliant night for Arteta as someone that bought him in that January window. What a signing he has been when you look at the price of him, really. But Odegaard, Odegaard's goal, and that for me is what I'd call a proper assist. There's loads of ways of assisting goals, but that is just sumptuous. And I think if you look at Arsenal players in years gone by, the Ozils and the Dennis Bergkamps, that was at their level. That was at their level. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. So I thought he was impeccable tonight. I thought Declan Rice in the middle put in another stellar showing. Jorginho behind him. His legs were going towards the end of the game. He's obviously in his 30s. He's getting a little bit older. Midfield's a hard position. But I thought Jorginho and Declan Rice did a very, very good job indeed in those central areas. And, of course, we've got to shout out Raya today because he didn't have a great deal to do, but he did pull off a couple of good saves in the game from some counter-attacks. But even more importantly was his performance in that penalty shootout. 2 saves, nearly 3. He took so much pressure off the penalty takers by making those saves. And honestly, it was an impeccable and a world-class performance from Arsenal in that penalty shootout. All of their penalties were sublime. The goalkeeper was absolutely brilliant indeed. Maybe a little fortuitous that they won both of the coin tosses and it was down at their end. And I read a stat once that 67% of penalty shootout winners take the first penalty. So to be by your own fans and to take the first penalty that's the only element that was lucky. The rest of it was absolutely pure class. And Arsenal find themselves into the next round. Arsenal find themselves now, look, you're a couple of games away now from being in the final. Let's see who they get. You're only going to get hard teams from this point. Barcelona went through tonight. You've got Barca in this. Real Madrid are through. Obviously, Man City, Bayern Munich, PSG. I might admit 2 more teams are going to go through tomorrow. So you're only going to get very good to world-class teams now. This tournament is going to absolutely be lit up. And I want to say congratulations to Arsenal for making it through. And one of the other little reasons as well, again, we need the coefficient points. You never know. My team might come 5th, and 5th place might be enough to get in this competition next year. So I kind of want all the English teams. I very rarely want English teams to do well in Europe, but I do this year. Let's go to some of your super chats before I bring out Dio, before I bring out Matt and Sard. This here says, Arsenal will get smashed in the next round, barely scraped Porto. Look, I think that's a fair piece of criticism, I would say. Where I would challenge you is that I'd say horses for courses. I would just say horses for courses or styles make fights. And I think against a slightly more open team, Arsenal will potentially do a lot better. Football won this evening. K29 workhorse man of the match. Yeah, I wouldn't have personally given man of the match to Kai Havertz. He did work hard tonight. I thought his first touch on a number of occasions today let Arsenal's attack down. I think that's an area that if you're going to be critical, is an area to definitely look at. But he didn't have a bad game overall. Porto made it ugly, but we found a way. They did, and I think that's another area that Arsenal should be happy with. Teams that have made it ugly against Arsenal in years gone by have consistently got the better of them. We improve our failures with each new season. This is true, you do. Ramsdale on his way back to Sheffield. I know, he's going to go to a good club, isn't he? Cry in the comments, haters. Come on, you gooners. Raya came up big. He certainly did. We did it the hard way. Come on, you gooners. DJ says, I was genuinely quite confident about penalties. These guys have given me confidence in their mentality and quality. It's a great point. My bum theory, credit to Porto. Demons overcome great. And I do think Porto need credit. I thought they were very, very good for large parts of both these ties. Arsenal fans celebrating like they beat Madrid. Come on now, my man. How are you having to go at a team for celebrating getting for a Champions League game? Please give us Arsenal in the next round. I don't know who you support, bruv. You're paying in pounds, so I'm going to assume that you are I'm going to assume that you are a City fan. That's it. Mentality monsters, they was trash tonight. Better team put them out, giving the ball a lot, and was horrible going forward. I don't know if they were horrible going forward. Love you to break that down for me, mate. Rakesh here says Porto was like a brick wall, tight spaces and good pressing at times as well. Resilient by Gooners. Everyone worked their rear end off. Odegaard was my man of the match. So happy to watch Champions League with Arsenal in it. I'm sure you are, my friend. Almost nearly 9,000 people watching as well, by the way. So give us a big smash that like button for us. Please make sure you are subscribing as well. Nobody should ever question Mikel the Don Arteta's decision to replace and buy any player ever again. That includes if he decides to sell Saka. I know what you mean. You're talking about Raya and obviously Kai Havertz there, my friend, aren't you? Thank you for the super chat, bro. Porto were very well drilled, but in the end, we have still this season. I feel good about the Premiership. Something might happen in the Champions League. It could. Anyone that's saying it can't is crazy. Porto's low block the entire first half, started attacking after we scored, then a low block during the 30 minutes of extra time. So proud of the boys. Come on, you Gooners. I thought Raya was weak at penalties. What the F was that? Yeah. Every team will be favourites to beat Arsenal in the next round except Dortmund or PSV. We'll ask the boys. I'm going to save that one. We'll ask the boys that when they come out. All credit goes to Raya. Not an easy game. Nerves didn't bother this young team. This is a boost to the confidence. Come on, you Gooners. Thank you, my guy. Well played, Porto. Credit where credit is due. Let's hope our nerves are gone now and we can press on in the next round. Yeah, I still think there'll be nerves, but I think with each win, with each further progression, things become a little bit easier. I want Barca now, is what Plasma Fam said. I had the Barcelona game on again tonight. They did score 3 goals. And they weren't particularly great. So there's a few teams that I don't think Arsenal would be absolutely shook about playing. Dortmund, PSV, Barcelona. I'm not even sure PSG are that good, barring Mbappe and the danger that he has. So I think Arsenal will fancy their chances against a lot. 7.7K watching, only 1.5K likes. Come on. It's actually 9.1 thousand people watching. So let's get these likes up if you haven't done so already. Thank you, guys. Boozing as usual, tell. I don't know what you mean by that. Hats off to the ref. We need more like him. Yeah, he was phenomenal today. He let so much go. Excellent refereeing. One of the best I've seen in years. The game was so physical that I thought it was 2024. Saka was atrocious. He only stayed on to take a penalty. Raya was godlike, though. What a keeper. 90 minutes. We won 1-0. Who won penalties? Job done. The Porto manager reminds me of Jose and seems like a Chelsea manager. Yeah, they do. For me, they do play football like when Chelsea are at their best. That's what we saw from Porto today. Chelsea just go back to playing that way. Raya is undisputed number 1. It's peak how rivals stayed up for 3 hours to do hate-alongs just to watch Porto tears. Big up Odegaard, Kai, and Arteta. Cannot wait for the draw. All fixtures will be fire. Yes, we'll be live for that draw, so make sure you're all tuning into the terrace when it's on. That's where you're going to be, on the terrace. All 9,000 of you. That'd be class. Portuguese clubs love to park the bus against European opponents. Sean Dyche would win the Champions League at Porto. Raya could have saved the Titanic today. Yeah, he was class. Let's go. Breaking curses left, right, and center. This team will be a great mark my words. It's building. Yeah, another record that was beaten tonight that I forgot about until you said that is Arsenal hadn't won a home knockout tie in the Champions League in their last 5 attempts. So all these things, I think, overcoming is why Gooners should be happy tonight. Anyone that isn't, I think they're being disingenuous. This is the type of game to see big players step up. Martin Odegaard just surpassed Saka as Arsenal's best player this season just from tonight's performance. It's a big statement. The link is in the group chats, but I will send them all through again now, guys, and I'm going to share it with the open forum as well tonight if people want to come on and have their say. But I'll go and share the links again now in the group chat. Stregboar Steve. I'm going to say I was stressed about Raya, but he just proved why he's here. God, what a game this was. Tel, did you think that the ref looked like Trossard? Yeah, he did a little bit. I see people talking about that. He did a little bit. Arsenal is like the notorious BIG, and Porto are like Little Kim. Bitch got spanked up. All right. Fair enough. If that's an allegation, I'm just going to say allegedly because I don't know. I don't want people getting angry at me. Yes, and don't message KJ anybody for links. He's on his honeymoon. Leave KJ alone, people. Let him do his thing. We've got Dio, we've got Matt, we've got Sard on with me now. Gentlemen, welcome back. Dio, it was tough. It was nerve-wracking, but you guys came up clutch in the end.
Oh, my God. My God. This team. Yeah, we did it. We did it the hard way, but we did it. And I think I'm happy. I'm happy we won. Let me just say that first. But I have to give credit to Porto. Porto came to do the business. They literally came to park the bus and wait for that one or two chances. Like they were waiting throughout the whole game for just that one loophole. And if they got it and they scored, we would have been out by now. That's what Porto was looking for. And as soon as the 90 minutes was up, you could tell that they were going to play the low block for penalties because they really believed, okay, well, penalties. And for penalties, I was a little worried because I haven't seen Raya do penalties much, so I didn't know where to put him. But let me be honest with you, we did it the hard way. I'm glad this young team has finally seen that you can win games in the first half. You can win games like Brentford in the last minute. And you might have to win games this way. You just have to find a way to win. That's the bottom line. That's what makes you top of the pack. If you don't find a way to win under any circumstance and you're just a one-trick pony who just scores 4 or 5 goals in the first half, the day you face a team like this, they will crush you. So this team is versatile. This team is dynamic. I am gassed. I have been drinking the tears of the haters. Them haters, all you haters out there that were waiting to come up here and say, oh, Arsenal, finally, you see Arteta? Haters. All you Harvard haters, the big verts, all you Raya haters, all you Arteta haters, your tears. You see how dark your tears are? Tastes very good. Yeah, so that's it for me, man. Like, honestly, that was it. Like, amazing game, though. Porto played us. They played us. There was very little between both teams, very little except that goal. And I'm glad that we got that goal when we got that goal, because if we did not get that goal at that one chance, I did not see any other chance that we had throughout the entire game. I had my notepad. I was marking stuff down. There was no other chance.
You're right.
Yeah, the whole 90 minutes. In fact, that was the second chance we had, and that was the only one that we were able to take. And when Trossard scored, I was like, I hope it stays. The disallowed goal, you know what? If they scored that against me, I'd be mad as well. The foul was there. So I'll put up my hands and say the foul was there. If they scored that against Arsenal, I would not have been happy. So, I'm glad that, the referee did right. And the ref today, please give me that ref. Let's see some 2002 football. Tackles were going in, people were getting kicked, all that, and he let the ball roll. He let the game play. So yeah, man, they did well. I'm proud of the boys.
Certainly did. Sard, it was a tough game, and still a lot of Arsenal fans today were sort of convinced that it was going to be 2-3-4-0, relatively simplistic. It wasn't that, because they were resolute consistently throughout the course of the game. But how proud are you of your team tonight, and how much do you think this win is going to help put some of those old Champions League demons to bed?
Well, listen, I'm happy. Firstly, I want to put that out there. I'm happy that we got through. I'm happy that the boys were finally able to, get over this whole curse of not getting out of the final, of the round of 16. Do you know what I mean? Getting put out of it. But I can't lie. There's still the way we played today. For me, although we fought until the end. Although we were fighting till the end, definitely some stuff that I would have wanted to improve. But I was angry towards the end of the game, but happy at the same time. I don't know. It's like a weird feeling. I don't know how to explain it. I was angry at the performance, but I was happy that we won. I don't know how to explain it, but bro, listen, Raya, outstanding.
Yeah.
Uh, listen, Odegaard, outstanding. Yeah, I think he worked his absolute socks off. And to be honest, listen, at the end of the day, we're into the next round. We're into the next round. We're gonna keep on fighting. I'm hoping that this will give them the push that they need, because we needed to go and we needed to win this game. It was important for us to win this game, no matter what. No matter what the cost is, we had to go and win this game. And we did go and win this game. So listen, all I'm gonna say is, although I feel a bit weird tonight, but I'm gonna say this now. Arsenal fans, bro, whatever happened tonight, bro, don't let it crush you. Don't let the rivals sit there and tell you like, oh, this and that. We didn't. You lot took it to the end with Porto, bro. Forget about that, man. Forget about that. We're through, and whoever's gonna have to come is gonna have to come. This is where the boys start experiencing. This is where they will start experiencing real teams. Yeah, and this is where we build up the experience in the team.
No, but Saad, you played a real team. They are a good side.
No,
not like a top
yeah, but that's when I say a real team, I'm talking the upper echelon. I'm talking the Real Madrid.
Porto has two champions. Porto has two Champions League, and they have Champions League heritage.
I'm well aware.
Anybody who tells me that we played them to the end and won by penalties, what do you expect from a team that has the Champions League heritage? We don't. If we go up against Manchester United today in the Champions League, if they were still there and we beat them on penalties, they have Champions League heritage. I'm happy to take a win on penalties. Until I win a Champions League trophy, I am celebrating with the tears of the enemies.
And that's so right, because today there was clips going around of I don't know who these people were, the sort of fans. One was someone said he was Hamza said he was a Porto fan, but yeah, Real Madrid top on. There's obviously the players of Porto were saying, we don't sweat Arsenal. We've got 2 Champions League trophies here. We've got, more heritage. We know what we're doing more. They've obviously been in the Champions League regularly as players and as a club and as a fan base over the past decade, where Arsenal haven't. So in the build up to this, a lot of people were convinced it was going to be hard for Arsenal. They would go out. They don't have the heritage for it. My message to Arsenal fans is don't be drawn in by the people speaking out of both sides of their mouth, but they then turn around and go, but you only scrape through on penalties. I have seen many a great team in my Champions League watching life win Champions Leagues, but at some stage in the tournament struggle. I've seen Liverpool scrape it out their group and go on to win the tournament. I've seen teams narrowly get past some of the smaller clubs in the Champions League knockout stages and go on to win it. I would say to Arsenal fans tonight, and I'm seeing in the comments, some people saying certain Arsenal fans online are angry. The only Arsenal fans genuinely that I think are angry tonight are people that don't like Mikel Arteta. And I understand their reasoning for it, because their view is these performances will never get any better, and therefore you're never going to win. And I understand that's their logic. Where I would disagree is that they've been saying that for years, and you're top of the league and you're back in the Champions League, when they said you wouldn't ever challenge for a league title and you wouldn't get into the Champions League. So if you're looking at the trajectory about who's generally right and who's generally wrong, I would go more along the lines of winning this game is going to help improve you as a football team, not just this season, but in years going forward. It depends who you get next round. You get Man City, you get Real Madrid. You're not even the favourites for that.
They can't get Man City, by the way. Only semifinal.
Oh, is that semifinal? It used to be quarterfinals back in the day. So.
Right. Oh wait, maybe I'll Google it. Sorry.
Maybe it used to be, but maybe I think these things change. Yeah, I don't think Arsenal fans should be angry in any way or any shape or form tonight. Maybe with some individuals, and even with Saka, and I'm seeing a lot of people go in on Saka. Yeah, he got pocketed, but if it was the other way around, you guys would be going, "Wow, Kivior tonight, what a performance!"
Yeah,
had the same energy. I know he missed his penalty.
I thought it was a good battle.
Wendell was absolutely impeccable tonight. Yeah, it was, and deserves credit. And as much as I get that Arsenal fans, you've got to do better, but sometimes you just come up against someone that has your number. Matt, what did you make of Arsenal tonight, mate?
Terry, my guy that is currently on loan as an Arsenal fan. What a guy!
Just
No,
for the
seriously,
day. Just for the day. Needed you to take care of the trash. All right.
So
care of-
this game, it started off as it kind of reminded me a little bit of the first leg, and then that piece of magic from Odegaard to slot in Trossard, beautiful finish into the bottom corner. You know, I can't say anything bad about Martin Odegaard today. He was absolutely brilliant. So happy, to be honest. In the second half, it was a bit like we were missing chances. You know, we had that disallowed goal, and I could understand why it was disallowed. But like as an Arsenal fan, I'm gonna be like, you know, I wanted that. But then in extra time, it was kind of like we were just saving a lot of it for pens because I didn't see too much coming from us in that extra time. Kind of more so in the extra time second half, we sort of put like a lot more pressure on them, but we didn't look like we're doing too much. But the penalties, David Raya, what a save, by the way! That first penalty that he saved was absolutely world class. Oh my god!
Yeah,
I'm so gassed, honestly, bro. Yeah. I'm bare happy, Terry.
You say so much more in the group chat than you actually say on camera, don't you? It's unbelievable. In the group chat, this guy messages very eloquently, has really good points. I'm really excited.
Very crazy.
I'm really excited about my football terrorist community hearing what Matt's got to say, and then he comes on and just goes happy, but then thank you, and then leaves. It's like, come on, have some chest, bro. You've been coming on for months now. Come on now, my friend. Come on now, my friend.
The one thing I would say, right, is that Saka he wasn't awful, but he did get absolutely pocketed. And I think that is credit to Wendell and Porto about how they set up that team. I'm telling you, if someone like, I don't know, like a Sean Dyche, bro, he wins honestly, he does bits with Porto because the way they play, he's literally the perfect manager for them. But yeah, like I mean, you got to give credit to them. Like, honestly, I'm just out of words.
Yeah,
but the thing was I was just gonna say, I disagree. They already have the manager there. Look, I don't like Porto, but Conceição is a very good manager. What Porto needed, they need an attacking midfielder, and they need a bit more. They needed a more. Probably a fully fit Taremi because I don't think he looked a bit rusty coming on. But
yeah,
bro, Steve, I hate their manager and their captain. Right? Did you see what they did at the end of the first leg? Smoke that cigar in the dressing room. Get out of there.
Kirio is here. Jacob Kirio is here after the game. Kirio, how was the game for you?
Bro, I see that all the time in the chat, bro. Like, you actually look like it, bro. Like,
no, everyone says I'm Polish. I'm
seriously,
I'm Polish.
The first time,
bro, go ahead and try and make your money.
The first time I saw you here, I was like, the terrorists has made it. They're getting players to come on the show. And I looked again and I was like, it's not Kirio. Oh, my bad.
Nah, you're a ledge, bro. Honestly.
So we've had the guy from Ratatouille, which is me, and now we've got like an actual football player. In
the guy from Ratatouille is crazy. The guy from Ratatouille is nuts.
No, I can't remember his name. I absolutely like.
Sorry, but
is that
Matt,
the guy?
Matt,
is that the guy that?
Too much, but like I can't remember his name.
Matt, I wanted to say this to you, right, and to Sad as well. Like, you guys need to realize this. I think as Arsenal fans, a lot of us set up this standard for the team that we expect them to play a certain way every single time, not realizing that they're going against another team. That team didn't come to sell ice cream on the pitch. Yeah. They weren't there to sell ice cream. They're there to play. Listen, and they studied us, right? They know our style. They did everything and anything they could to make sure that we were not able to play. And the fact that we had to go down to penalties, the first thing David Raya did, as soon as the 30 minutes were up, did you notice what he did? He ran to the assistant coach. Yeah, he went over to Carl, and then to the assistant coach who pulled up an iPad and pointed a couple of things to him. So they worked on all these things. They're like all the different scenarios. You have to realize that it's like in anything you do, there's different ways you can win a game. And if it comes down to this and you finally lose it, you're like, well, the other team obviously did better. And if you win it, then great. You did your homework across the board.
No, Of course, but I think as well, it's just with Arsenal winning the way they've won in recent weeks with them big score lines. I did say it on one of my fan channel review shows. There'll be some gooners who will see that and then go, right, that's what I want every week now. And if we're not winning by 4 or 5 goals every week, I'm going to start being angry, which is just ridiculous. And I've seen a few tweets from certain gooners tonight, and it's just, well, you win, but you're not happy. But Deniz, what did you make of tonight, and how significant do you think this is going to be in terms of this still a very young squad developing and moving forward?
I would say, first of all, massive credit to Porto, because they played fantastic, like over both legs, everything. And because I know a lot of people going into this tie would have expected Arsenal to walk over Porto. Not myself, because it's always going to be tough in the Champions League. And I thought they did themselves very proud today. Played very well, impressed me. They went bar for bar with us this game. Didn't sit back the whole game. Actually tried to attack us at times. But overall, massive win, man. Massive win. For me, this actually gives me more confidence in us winning the Champions League, which might sound crazy because we just squeaked by Porto. But when it comes to knockout football, no game's easy. You're going to need to squeak by in certain games. And if it comes to a penalty shootout, you have to win it. And we did that. Because if you can rely on your team to win a penalty shootout, that's such a psychological benefit going forward. Because the fact we've got Raya, who's made 2 massive penalty saves, almost saved the third one as well, was inches away from that. That's a massive psychological boost to the whole team. We kept going from minute 1 of the game to minute 120 and found a way to win that game, get over the tie, right the wrongs from last season. Because I know a lot of Arsenal fans got deja vu from Sporting Lisbon last year. I definitely did. I was sitting there thinking, oh, not again, man. Not another penalty shootout against the team in Europe, against the Portuguese side, but found a way to get through. Now, and I don't think we'll face another team like Porto, to be honest. I just don't want Inter Milan or Atletico, because they'll be Porto again, but a bit more technically gifted than Porto. Just we don't want another team that's a bit more dirty and plays the dark arts. We want a bit more of a heavyweight clash with a top side that's going to go for us, so we can literally just face each other. Heavyweight clash in the ring, bar for bar, swinging at each other. And I'll take anyone at this stage, man. I know obviously that I'm not going to be arrogant and think we're going to win any time, but it's got to last 8 now, where if you want to win it, you got to beat the best. So whoever we get on Friday, I believe the draw is, I'll take it, man. Let's go for it. Full confidence. Let's push forward. This gives me a lot of confidence in the team to get over the edge, because it's one thing winning games 6-0, 5-0, all that. But when it comes to tight games, getting over the edge and winning it, especially in Europe, that's a big positive sign, man. Big positive sign.
Do you
good game today, Kirill?
Hang on a minute, guys. Let me just thank you. I look at it this way, and I'm seeing a lot of Arteta's detractors talk about we scrape through, I'm annoyed. But these are the same individuals, Deniz, that will criticize Arteta and will criticize your Arsenal team, that when you're in those close games, he never comes up trumps. But yet he does today, and they're acting like, well, why we shouldn't even be having tight games. Do you think getting through this tight moment is going to help improve your team's ability to navigate these types of tournaments?
100%. You learn more from tight games than you do from 5-0s and 6-0s.
Yeah.
I know everyone wants to win those games by that margin, but you learn more from your team when you overcome these type of games. When you overcome games, especially in Europe, where we haven't got through to the last 8 in, God knows, 12 years or 14. Something crazy like that. I think I was in primary school the last time we got to the last 8 of a Champions League. Like that shows, man. So the fact we were able to overcome it shows an awful lot more for me of the team, of the mettle of the side. And you need to go through moments like this. Adversity makes you stronger. You don't get better by lifting 10 kg in the gym every week. You lift the heavy weights because it pushes you. You break your muscles to get stronger. It's the same in football. You go through tough moments to get stronger. And if you want to beat the best, you got to beat the best. And Porto might not be the best, but they're one team on our way to making the Champions League final and hopefully winning it. So yeah, I'm delighted, especially in the way we won the game today.
Yeah,
you know what? Sorry, go on.
Go on, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say what you just said now about being able to take penalties. If other teams know that you can take penalties that good and you can save penalties that good, they don't want to go to penalties with you in the next round. They're psychologically looking to finish the game in 90 minutes. They're like, we don't need to go into penalties with these people. And you know what that does? They play to open, to beat you. And because we're also good when the play is open, it gives us a fair chance to play our own style. So I'm glad that Arteta is working on every single bit and pieces of the team from beginning to end. Like even from the toss of the coin and picking what side of the pitch, you realize that there's a psychology behind it. Like picking what side of the pitch you want to be on. So on the second half, it can be on this side of the pitch, or even picking the side to play the penalties on. Like once
mention the detail.
Yeah, it's in the details. Like those little details, I'm glad to see that We're no longer that team that just does stuff, oh, we're Arsenal and everything is just fluff. It's literally like we know exactly what we're doing. And I'm glad penalty is a game of luck sometimes, look at that first goal that Raya saved came off the back of his leg, could have gone back in. But it went out. So there's some luck in there. And you know what? Hey, Raya's luck shone today. The second one, great save. I'd give him that. But all I'm saying is, looking at this team, we can win in the first half with 4 goals. We can win in the last minutes with 2-1. We can win with penalties and go into extra time. Yo, what else can you ask for in the team?
Yes.
What else can you ask for?
Who was confident, actually? But when penalties was announced, so it end the game, genuinely, hand on heart, who thought we'd win? Because I'll sit there and I'll be honest with you guys, yeah? I thought it was advantage Porto. Because we were there last season.
I was very nervous.
I was confident on our takers, but I weren't too confident on Raya because he's never really had a Champions League night. Not really like this, but
I think it's a fact. Also, before the game was played, I think if you said penalties, I think Porto would have taken it more than Arsenal.
Yes.
I think Porto would have prepared for penalties.
The reason I was again nervous. I love a penalty shootout. I agree with you. I sitting here, I went, I think Porto might do this because you are the better team and you were the favourites. I was listening to Ali McCoy, who I love as a commentator because I think he's so non-partisan and open, and he just sort of said Porto weren't expected to beat you, so they can go into this somewhat relaxed. And I thought, Porto here, but Arsenal was great. I mean, every single penalty that was taken so well. The goalkeeper knew what he's doing. The crowd, crowds played their part. The crowd did. Nice and silent, letting you concentrate for yours, on their backs for them. And I actually think about your crowd tonight as well in the overall game. If you'd have maintained singing and maintained the noise and atmosphere for larger periods, you probably would have beaten them. They really needed you. But I also want, because it was like 55 minutes in and there were people sitting there with their hands in their faces. That is football heritage. Because if you were a team that's regularly in finals, regularly winning it, regularly in the tournament, you wouldn't be like that after 55 minutes. So how you were in the penalties, you've got to echo that noise. You've got to echo that atmosphere because it boosts your team and it makes it harder for your opponents. And I think all these little details are needed here. I want to do some super chats and throw them out to you all, but I want to shout out our title sponsors again. And a lot of you have tuned in since the beginning. It's NordVPN. You need them. Not only can you get amazing content all around the world by changing your geolocation, I paid $2.99 a month for all my Premier League football, La Liga football, German football, the UFC, the lot, via Setanta Sports. All you need is NordVPN, so you can change your location to Georgia or the Ukraine. What other countries do I put it into as well? Moldova. And you get Setanta Sports. Do that via Apple. Sign up to Setanta Sports via your app store or whatever the equivalent is on Android and get it done. That's what NordVPN is great for. Sign up for it. But more importantly, said it at the top of the video, I'm going to say it again. 2/3 of people in the UK admit to going through their partner's phones and bills. This is a fact, right? Wild. I don't even know what the stats would be if it's your parents. But I'm asking this question to you all watching. Who pays your Wi-Fi bill, or who has access to it? Or wherever you use the internet, even if it's at work, think about the things you do. People don't realize this. You can clear your search history, you can clear your phone, but if you don't use a VPN provider and you use NordVPN, whoever pays your bill or has access to your bill can see exactly what you've done at the internet at any time. I genuinely had a friend. He's single now and living on his sister's sofa because he signed up to a couple of OnlyFans accounts. And he did it incognito on his phone. So he put it into private on his phone, still did it all. But his wife was going through the itemization on the Wi-Fi and could see all the logins he'd done. And the worst bit is all the donations he had done to the accounts is all on there. It's there. If he'd have had NordVPN, by the way, he signed up now. I don't know what he's up to, but if he'd had NordVPN and done that, he never would have got caught. So I'm just saying to people, it's not illegal like what he was doing, but if you don't want anyone to know what you're up to when you're on the internet, and that's your right to have privacy, sign up to NordVPN today. Plus. I'm not doing my mate like that. He ain't watching. He hates football. And I'm not telling you his name. Plus, on top of that, you can get really cheap Premier League football, UFC, Formula One, $2.99 a month for all of it. Go and get signed up right now. Scan that QR code, people.
On that sign, I am planning to scan that because, well, not gonna
What are you up to, man?
What I search up on incognito, but after
What you
hearing
up
all
to,
that,
man?
Yeah, but incognito on your phone doesn't stop your Wi-Fi knowing what you've done. And it isn't just that, right? It's mad things. If you guys use TikTok, do you know what TikTok does? If you don't use a VPN provider, what TikTok does is once you've used the app that day, it then records all your keystrokes. So it knows who you text. No, but you can't get rid of it by deleting cookies. It recalls your keystrokes. So it knows who you're emailing, who you're texting, and what you do. And they have all that data stored. I just don't want anyone having that kind of data. I don't do anything wrong, but I don't want anyone storing that data anyway. So use NordVPN, protect yourself online today. I've got some super chats here. The first one from AA says, Terry, this donee is for Raya. Please hand it to him. Joking. What a night. It's an amazing donation to the Football Terrace, and I thank you loads for sending that in to us, mate. Thank you very, very much indeed.
Donation for yours needed as well, man.
Do you need to be a content creator to be on the panel? I don't mean this rudely. I don't know if anyone here is a content creator in that. Well, I know that Deniz has his own channel. See, they do it.
Yeah.
I don't like the word content creator. I even more so hate the word influencer. I hate both these words. We're football fans talking football. Like I don't like either of those two words. They make me feel sick. But if anyone, we've shared the link tonight. If people want to come on, have their say, they can do. We're not biased like that. NordVPN is cheaper than a divorce. It is. How you doing, bro? It is. NordVPN is cheaper than a divorce. I'm telling you. Who do you want in the next round? Who would you go for? I'm gonna go to Dio first on this. Who would you want in the next round?
Who do I want in the next round? I don't know, man. Give me Barca, man. Give me Barcelona right now. Yeah, give me Barca. Let's see what we can do with Barcelona. I know they're not playing at their best now, and I feel like that's a team that maybe we can get one over. That little confidence will be necessary for the semifinals if we get over them. Let me be honest with you. I trust Arteta and I trust my team, but there are teams out there that are better than us. And if we meet them now, even at the stage that we're at, they will beat us. And if we lose, that will deflate our confidence. I don't want these boys' confidence down. I want their confidence up till the end of the season and as far as they can get in the Champions League. So give me Barca. I'll take Barca because they're not playing at their best right now.
They struggled. So in between Napoli's goal and Barca's third goal, they struggled real bad tonight. They struggled. This Christensen experiment in midfield, it offers them no creativity. Gundogan has to carry the load. So it's an easy game plan really against Barca. Napoli just couldn't really get enough consistent service into Osimhen. They struggled tonight, Barca, but Napoli just didn't have enough goals in them really. Yeah. So I would favor Arsenal against Barcelona. Yeah, I would 65, 35, 60, 40, something like that.
What about Dortmund? Dortmund aren't. I don't think they're that good this year, to be honest. And
they aren't in the Bundesliga, but in the Champions League, they finished top, and people were picking. Some of them were picking bottom and third place for them. So Dortmund have been a surprise package in the Champions.
Who in the group again?
Dortmund won the
PSG, Milan,
and when we got Dortmund, Milan.
Oh, Newcastle, Newcastle.
LFC Religion here says you ain't achieved nothing yet. No tears, just facts.
Baby steps.
Hold on. Let me get him. LFC, my religion. First and foremost, how can LFC be your religion? Like, that's the stupid name. Secondly, we haven't achieved anything yet in the UCL. Fact. We haven't achieved anything yet in Europa. Fact. Right? But the fact that we were able to beat a team that has achieved something in the UCL is an achievement in itself. So if you sit there with your blockhead and you think that you're coming here to I finished your tears, I'm going to add more to it. And for saying that, you're a Liverpool fan. You know where you are at right now in the Premiership with us. We're on top of you now. Whether it's by goals difference or whatever you want to call it. We're number one and you are not. So sit down, take several seats at the back, and when you're talking to your elders who are number one, show some respect.
This here from Adam says, I didn't think the chalked off goal was a foul. It's easy with this. Do you think that was a foul, bro?
Because what I was watching cut out during when the foul was going on, so I tuned in to when Odegaard scored and they ruled out. But I saw the replay and I think it was a foul because most of the 50-50s that they give most of the fouls they give in the Champions League in Europe, the referees tend to be soft anyway. They were giving most free kicks, and most of the free kicks were going the way of Porto anyway. I just think that even though we didn't score, then either way, the game was going to be won on individual moments. Because my opinion on the game was we weren't able to progress centrally through Porto a lot. We weren't getting into their final third as much, and the likes of Saka and Odegaard weren't getting on the ball as much. Odegaard only had like 14 touches in the first half. He played an amazing pass, and without him, we probably would be out. All the people that go, Odegaard, invisible, Ghostagard, and all that nonsense.
Played very good.
They need to shush, because that guy is probably the most gifted on the ball in our team, and he's been sensational this turn of year. Because he's had to deal with the Havertz coming into midfield and Rice, who's recently signed, and he's had to get chemistry and kind of there's needed to be a formation of a new midfield dynamic. Him dropping deep and him being in the final third, and his relationship with Ben White and Saka, and Ben White inverting and all that, and the system change we've had. He's been sensational, and he was sensational, and Raya for the penalty shootout as well. He saved our skin during the pen. As soon as it went to penalties, I just had flashbacks to the Sporting game, Ramsdale in goal, where he didn't save any of the penalties, and Martinelli scuffed it into the path of the Sporting goal.
Yeah, you've just grown so much since then as a team. I think in terms of mental strength, ability, and just the confidence you had today was immense, mate. Great work.
And we needed this as well, because the last 10 games, every game's a final. We're going to have to play, it's going to be blood, sweat, and tears. Every single game is more or less going to need to be a win. And that extra time, having to overcome that and the penalties, that was character building. That was kind of a learning experience that we needed to gain, that mentality and that resolve of being able to overcome like a barrier like that, where when the pressure is on and when things aren't going our way and the free kicks aren't going our way, the 50-50s, the second balls, we weren't winning any of them, and we weren't able to get into the game and get any kind of rhythm or pattern.
Yeah.
And because of Porto, we managed to overcome that, and now it's onto the Etihad, and that Etihad game is perfect experience for that game, because that game's going to be intense and athletic, and it's going to be super fast-paced and intense.
Certainly is. Ahmed here says this is the Champions League. Teams like Porto, Ajax, Lyon, you can throw Sevilla into that, tend to cause upsets. No team is easy past the group stages. Remember, Liverpool bottled a 5-point lead, throwing that in at the end. Can Arsenal win the double? This could be the year for Arsenal. Looking scary. And I'm a Chelsea fan, by the way.
Not enough experience. I don't think we have enough experience in the Champions League. I think a game, because Porto came out with that, because we tend to struggle in Europe, especially with like these aggressive mid blocks, because we're not able to play through teams and progress through them centrally. I think a team like Porto, a team like Madrid or a Man City or even a Bayern Munich with not necessarily Bayern Munich, but Real Madrid, Inter Milan especially, they're going to press us, contain us, not allow us to get in their final third, and then just through sheer experience and just through either a set piece or a individual moment, they'll sadly probably knock us out. We just don't have the experience, I think.
But I think you guys are. I think this season, I think your squad just needed a little bit more. But next season, I think you could be contenders for both if you make the right additions in the summer. I think you guys are definitely progressing.
I think that's also. I think that's also what's really important. There is that's the thing about progression. I know everybody wants it now, but that isn't really how life and sport and development works. You have to build up. We all remember when City weren't getting out the group stages. We remember when City were getting knocked out by the Lions. Remember when City kept them falling short. All of that is what helped build the resilience and know-how for them as a club and as a fan base. And of course, even when Pep came in, didn't get there straight away. But that's why they've won a treble and why they're the favourites to go on and defend the thing again. But it's funny how again, the people that will turn around and throw their toys out the pram if a team like Arsenal in the situation we're in don't win it this year are the same people that look at City as the torchbearers, but ignore City's journey to get there. It's crazy to me. It really, really is.
I think that also, I was going to say also off the back of that, yeah, you do have to smell blood though. Like we're in the last 8 right now. I understand we don't have to.
You got a chance.
We're in the last 8. We're playing well. The momentum's there. Smell blood. Go for it. Go for it. Like treat it like it is your last season. Because next year, who knows? Other teams could get better and overtake us. You never know.
I think.
And also,
I think the one advantage.
I do want to say off the back of that, the previous comment about can we win both? Of course we can. I seen Opta is funny. Opta's saying Arsenal's got like 18%, City this. As far as I'm concerned, it's 33, 33, 33. That's it. Yeah. I don't worry about what games left. I don't worry about who's on what points. It's basically neck and neck, 33, 33, 33. Anyone's got as good a chance as anyone. So we can do it, man. I don't want to hear all this Opta saying Arsenal's got 15% because we've got tough games. It's the Premier League. Anyone can beat anyone. If you're on momentum, you can go through those games and just check them off one by one by one. If you're on bad momentum, you can lose to West Ham and Fulham like we did. So who knows? I think we've got a good chance as anyone, to be honest.
And when you talk about experience, for example, you said we don't have experience in the Champions League. How do you get experience if you don't go for it? Like, do you want to go in there? Do you want to go in there, lose a game to Barca or to Inter because you think they're better than you, and then come back next year? No, go for it. You got to experience by actually killing giants because you figure a way out to kill that giant. And remember, it's a competition, man, dude. Dortmund, Barca have been having like an off season this year. They've been having ups and downs, but they have pedigree in the UCL. If they meet one of the other teams like Inter, for example, and they have a good UCL game against Inter and beat Inter, and because they are erratic this season, the next time they meet Arsenal in the next round, they're erratic and we beat them. I've seen teams make it to the final of the Champions League because of the run that they had. And when they got to the round of 8, it was like, you know what, it is do or die now. We beat this team, we beat the next team.
And again, there are no easy runs.
There are no easy runs. I just want to end this segment just because of the interest of time, guys. But I think they're not favourites. You're not first, second, or third favourites for me. But do Arsenal have a chance? Yes. And I think that we live in this world where people say there's zero chance is crazy. You don't know who you're going to get. You don't know the injuries teams are going to have. You don't know who's going to knock each other out of this tournament. But you know, there's probably 3 or 4 other teams that you would put as definitely more likely to win the Champions League than Arsenal, but there's a chance. Manny here says we need to stop worrying about rivals or Arteta-hating gooners. Enjoy this moment. Another hurdle jumped. Take the boys to Dubai and rest. I did actually hear saw someone tweet and they went, "Oh, I'm so glad they got extra time, Arsenal. Going to take some energy out of their legs for the City game."
3-week break. What the hell?
And I was like, brother, you realize it's 19 days away, you fucking idiot. Like, I saw it. A friend of mine. I was like, you're such a dickhead. Like, calm down. LFG, what does that mean?
Let's effing go.
Let's effing go. Again, I'm old. I don't tweet like that or messages like that. But thank you. It says, come on, you gooners. Give me any football.
FC Barcelona.
Either the FC Barcelona or FC Bayern. Both of them, Bayern or Barcelona.
Okay, over the round. Okay. Yeah, I get that. Over the round of 16 hump either two of the Bayern Munich or Barcelona humps next. Been a season of putting ghosts to bed.
I want it back in blood because also, the amount of eliminations that Barcelona and Bayern Munich between the last times we went through to the quarters, I think it's like 3 times in a row against Bayern and like twice back to back against Barca. I want revenge for 10-2. I want revenge for the Van Persie yellow card.
I'd be worried about Barcelona. As Bayern, I mean. Barcelona, I wouldn't be worried about Barcelona, to be honest. But Bayern, Harry Kane can hurt you. Harry Kane, he can hurt you.
I agree.
Barcelona,
I hear you on that. Arsenal fans, chill out. Knockout football can be ugly. Respect it. Jose Mourinho made a career of it. Why people are sad because we never won 3-0. I do agree. I disagree completely with what Saad said earlier. But yeah, I agree with that super chat. This here from Ian says saw Martinelli in the Diamond Club. He could barely walk. Big up the Gunners. On to the next. Okay,
I think he'll be fit for the City game. We're going to need him because
He just
thought
needs 2 weeks.
Trossard left wing. I don't like it because we lacked a lot of pace in behind without Martinelli. We don't have an.
I don't understand why we didn't play Jesus.
He's electric. How about those emphatic penalties? Yeah, they were great. This here says, what happened to Saka today? He was too quiet. Dennis, what did you make of Saka's performance and the criticism he's getting online right now?
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I thought he was tired today, especially in the second half, extra time. His legs were gone. To be fair, a lot of the team's legs were gone as well. I was actually calling for him to get subbed off. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna sit here and be honest. I know he scored the winning penalty, or not the winning penalty, but one of the penalties that enabled us to win the game. But yeah, I just thought he was really tired today. Not quite at his best. But look, 19 days off. That's the main thing. We've now got the next round. Also, important thing, I don't know if we picked up on this, but the next draw actually is your route to the final as well. So you're going to know who you get in the quarters, semis, and final. I know last year, there was a really tough route that Real Madrid, Man City, Bayern were in, but then the other route had all the Italian teams. So that could be a big factor. I agree with the boys. I want Barcelona or Bayern Munich as well, because I had a season ticket from 2012 till 2017. So I've seen my team routinely get spanked at my own front yard. Bayern Munich, Barcelona. I want some revenge. So I think we can actually beat those teams this season. Because I'm fed up of going to Arsenal games, going to the stadium, season ticket as a kid, watching it, and just going there praying to win. Now, any team we get in the Champions League, I think we've got a chance. I'm not saying we're going to necessarily win, but we've got a good chance of giving our good account for ourselves.
Do you guys want the home leg at the Emirates first or the second leg?
Second leg. We want the home leg.
Especially about away goals.
Yeah. You want to be at home. I think you always want to be home second. This here says, would anyone swap the goalkeeper as Rams? Is a better shot stopper?
I think that's what the commentator Ali McCoy was saying. He was like, "Oh, maybe they should swap out Raya for Ramsdale."
Yeah, but he also said, "I'm just guessing at that because I've never seen either of them say penalties." Yeah, he was just the extra Champions League games helped City stay in rhythm last season. I think the same could be said for us. I agree. I think this notion of one game per week. Yeah, look, Chelsea won a Premier League once because they had one game per week. Ever since Chelsea did it. And Leicester did it since those two teams, and they won it. It was 1 year apart, I think. I might be wrong, but either way, whenever
it was Leicester, Chelsea,
Chester, Ever since then, everybody's been like one game a week, and you've got such a great chance of winning the league. Yeah. But typically speaking, the team that win the league's in Europe, so you're taking 2 years versus 30 years, and it's crazy.
That was what cost us last season.
Agree. 3 penalty takers all bought in the summer, all stepped up. That's a great stat to have there. Look, I want to thank everybody that has tuned into the show today. It is just about midnight here. So Michael just super chatted again. He says, Arsenal need another proper creative midfielder. Without Odegaard, we've got nobody to run the show like he does. Hope he stays fit for the rest of the season. Kai,
he's crying.
Smith Rowe, Vieira, Jorginho can't do it.
Get me Frankie.
Agreed.
We need another left eight.
It's a squad game.
That's going to be a summer. That's going to be a summer jobby. Summer jobby, absolutely. Yeah. Look, I want to thank everyone that has tuned in. As I've mentioned, go and check out our title sponsors tonight, NordVPN. You should be using it. If you've never even inquired about a VPN, do it. But another little thing I like using it for is when I sleep at night. What I do is I put my VPN on because I like a little film on in the background when I'm going to sleep. Like Netflix in America, in Canada, and places like that. So much better than here in the UK. Even like Paramount, I have Paramount Plus, the Canadian version. So many better movies on there and TV shows. So all these little things, these little peccadillos you can use and have via NordVPN. So go and get signed up now. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Congratulations to Arsenal. Commiserations to Porto. And I'll see you all tomorrow.